Good evening, dear student. Welcome to the YourPedia platform. Today, I am just going to introduce some important question for the engineering mechanics. Basically, today's lecture, I am just discussing about the most important question which are just came in a previous examination, and also just covering your the different concept according to your examination. So today, I am just discussing the some questions. With the help of these question, I am just trying to just introduce some concept and just do the concept. Okay. So just try to solve the question. The question is in front of you. Just try to solve the question. So student, try to solve with me. Okay. So the question is saying that an elevator weighing 1 kilonewton and upward velocity of a 4 meter per second in 4 meter per second in 2 seconds with uniform acceleration. The tension in the support. The tension in the support. So if I'm just make a diagram. So this is my elevator which is having some tension. So before solving the numerical, I'm just introduce a one that is called a D'Alembert principle. D'Alembert principle, which is very similar to the Newton's second law of motion. So what is the Newton's second law of motion? That is force is directly proportional to the rate of change of linear momentum. Force is directly proportional to the rate of change of linear momentum. So as I know about F equals to ma. If I'm just going to write like this, F minus ma equals to 0. So we can also write like this, F plus F of I equals to 0. And this is called a D'Alembert law. This is called a D'Alembert law, which basically just define the inertia force. And if you just see the inertia force equals to the minus ma. So it is just introduce the inertia force with the applied force and just equal to 0. And the whole system is going to be in an equilibrium condition when you just equate to the inertia force. And inertia force is just opposite to the applied force. So here just where I am just talking about this one, this is an elevator which is having the some mass, which is having the 1 kilonewton weighing. So if I'm just take upward velocity, it means it is having the acceleration towards the upward. It is having the acceleration towards upward. So now the inertia force are just came to be a just opposite direction. So the inertia forces are like this. Okay, that is equals to the ma. So it is just given that we have to just find out the ma, so we can just find out the tension. So we are just applying the Newton's laws of equation, that is v equals to u plus at. So as I know about velocity is given as a 4 meter per second, initial velocity is assumed to be a 0, and acceleration into time is 2 seconds. So the acceleration is came to be a 2 meter per second square. So from here, you can just write the tension by this equilibrium equation. Sum of the vertical force equals to 0. So you can just write T equals to ma plus mg. Here mg is given as a 1 kilonewton and acceleration is given as 2 meter per second square. So tension is came to be a mass is 1 kilonewton divided by yani 1000 divided by g. G is 9.81. Yeah, you can just take as a 10 for a simplicity. Into acceleration value is 2 meter per second square plus mg. Mg is equals to the 1000 Newton. So this is just going to be cancel each other. Now this is 200 plus 1000 is equals to the 1200 Newton. So the moral of the question is that you are just understand about the what do you mean by D'Alembert principle. So D'Alembert principle is just nothing else, just introducing the inertia force, which is having the just opposite direction to the applied one, and just equate to the equation to the equilibrium. Okay. Now just switch to the next question. So the answer is C. Just solve this question. Try to solve the question. Okay, student, now solve with me. The question is saying that a block of a mass m is released from a point P. A release from a point P on a rough inclined plane with an angle of inclination theta as shown in the figure below. The coefficient of friction is mu. If mu is less than 10 theta, then the time taken by the block to reach the point on Q, the inclined plane, where PQ equals to S. It is just given as a distance, as this is a whole distance given to be a S, and what is the, you just find out the time taken. You just find out the value of time taken. Okay. So just try to solve the numerical. First of all, draw the FBD. Whenever these type of question are came, just draw the FBD. How the FBD will just going? This is a mass M. This is a mass M, which is lie on an inclination plane. Lie on an inclination plane. First of all, just introduce the weight of the body, which is always vertically downward. And after that, just introduce the normal reaction, which is just perpendicular to the contact surface. So you are just introducing the normal reaction. So the normal reaction is like this, n, and it is having angle theta. So now this is also theta. So here the one component is came to be a mg cos of theta, and one component is like this, that is mg sin theta. This is always, you have to just draw the FBD like this in all cases. After just take the block is moving from the towards downward. So just take the motion is towards the downward. If motion is towards downward, the friction force is just acting opposite to the relative motion. So the friction forces are going to be acting at the upward surface, that is mu into n. Okay, mu into n, that is a friction force. So if I am just finding out the acceleration, if I am just going to find out the acceleration from this point, and we are just introducing the Newton's laws of motion equation, and that's we are just finding the time period. Okay, so now the net force by the Newton's second law, if the motion is towards the downward, the net force equals to the mass into acceleration. So we can just write like this: m into a equals to mg sin theta minus mu n, mg sin theta minus mu of n. We know very well n equals to mg cos theta. So we can also write this: m of a equals to mg sin theta minus mu mg cos theta. Okay, so just taking the m common from the both sides, so acceleration is came to be a m equals to g sin theta minus mu g cos of theta. This is the acceleration value. If you just apply the Newton's laws of motion, that s equals to ut plus half at square, half at square. So you know very well when it is just moving from the point P, so this u is going to be 0. So from here the time equals to 2s by a root के अंदर. So you just put this one, 2s by a की value is, that is g sin theta minus mu g cos theta bracket के root के अंदर. So if you just see the answer, option, so these all option contain tan theta. So first of all, you have to just convert this equation into the terms of tan theta. So what will you do? You just take the divide by cos theta and multiply by the cos theta. So just if you just divide by cos theta, multiply by cos theta, and after that you just take a g cos theta as a common. So here that came to be a tan theta minus mu. And this is the value of time period. Okay, so the option A are correct. Okay, how many of them gives the correct answer? 2 or 3 are the give the correct answer. Okay, next one. Just solve this one. Okay, I'm just going to solve. First of all, you have to just know about the what do you mean by the radius of gyration. What do you mean by a radius of gyration? If I'm just going to introduce the radius of gyration, let us assume this is having this is yeah having any mass which is having a center of gravity or a center of mass are lying here. So if I am just taking any arbitrary axis in which the moment of inertia about this arbitrary axis never be changes. The moment of inertia about this arbitrary axis is never be changes. So the distance between them is known as a radius of gyration. So it is just denoted by I equals to ak square or mk square. Here we are just talking about the mass area movement of inertia, so that we are just taking the a k square. So k is equals to the root k अंदर I by a. So this is a circular section having a diameter d. So this is just came to be a pi by 64 into d to the power 4 divided by pi by 4 upon d square. Just take the root of them. So this is 16, this is pi se pi, and this. So this is just came to be a d square by 16 root के अंदर. So the answer is radius of gyration is came to be a d by 4. So the option B is correct. Okay. Just solve the next one. Solve this one. Okay, I'm just going to solve and solve with me. A question is saying that the moment of inertia of a uniform circular disk of a mass m and a radius r about any of its diameter is 1 by 4 mr square. What is the moment of inertia of the disk about an axis passing through its center and normal to the disk? If let us assume this is a disk, this is a disk. The in the question is given as it is just given the moment of inertia about that and that axis, and they're just going to ask about the moment of inertia about their center, which is just normal to the disk, normal to the plane of the disk. So this is just asking the moment of inertia about of I z z. If this is x and this is y. So we have a two theorems here. That is a perpendicular axis theorem and a parallel axis theorem. So here we are just using the perpendicular axis theorem. That is what I z z equals to I of xx plus I of yy. So this is a circular section, and the moment of inertia is given about their centroidal axis. So the ixx and iyy both are the equal. So we can just write m r square by 4 plus m r square by 4, and the moment of inertia is about the centroidal axis z is just came to be a mr square by 2. Okay, so the option is B are correct. Let's solve this one. क्या हुआ क्या हुआ हेलो क्या हुआ हेलो क्या हुआ बोलो अबे मैं क्लास में लाइव ले रहा हूँ. So the question is that the moment of inertia of a semicircular lamina about x-axis is given by. So it is just saying that about x-axis is given by. So if I just going to draw the semicircular lamina, so this is a semicircular lamina. If this is given as a moment of inertia of a semicircle about x-axis, it means this is just giving the moment of inertia about the centroidal axis. So it's a centroidal axis just near lying at that point. Okay. So this is the x-axis. Okay, and the distance between them is that is 4r upon 3 pi. So this is just asking the find out the moment of inertia about this centroidal axis. So as I know about the parallel axis theorem, so parallel axis theorem is saying that if you want to find out a moment of inertia about any axis, a axis, so that is equals to the moment of inertia about centroidal axis plus a of h square. Or there is a h is a distance between the both of the axes. So if I see here, the a is this, and I know very well the moment of inertia about diametrical axis. Moment of inertia about diametrical axis, that is pi r square by 4 होता है, but we are just talking about the semicircle, so it just came to be a pi r square by pi r to the power 4 by 8, pi r to the power 4 by 8 for the about a axis. Okay, so here the h की value क्या, it is 4r upon 3 pi. So if I'm just going to find about the ixx, so ixx equals to I of a, yani a is a diametrical axis minus a of h square. So ia is that is pi r to the power 4 divided by 8 minus area कितना हो जाएगा, that is pi r square divided by 2. Pi r square किसका हुआ, सर्कल का, and semicircle is pi square by 8, and the distance between them is 4r upon 3 pi का square. If you're just going to be solve this one, pi r square by 8 minus pi r square by 2 multiply by 16 r square divided by 9 pi square. So it just came to be a 0.109 r to the power 4. Okay, so that it is just near about to the 0.11 r to the power 4. So the option B are correct. Okay, so this is a use of a parallel axis theorem in this case. You can just see this is a parallel axis theorem. We are using this theorem is known as a parallel axis theorem. Okay, just solve the next one. So the question is saying that a body A of weight 10 kg with its CG 25 centimeter from the axis of the rotation is to be balanced by another body V of weight 5 kg. The radius at which the CG of the body V should be is placed is, so you are just saying this, a body, this is a body A, this is a body A having the mass 25 10 kg, having the mass is 10 kg, 10 of G. Okay, with its CG is 25 centimeter from the axis of rotation. So this is a CG which is lying at a 25 centimeter from the axis of rotation. Okay, is to be balanced by another body B of weight 5 kg. The radius at which the CG of the body of weight V should be placed. So if I'm just going to introduce like this. This is a body B having the mass 5 kg, so it is just converted into the 5 of G, and this is the X. So we have to find out the value of this one. So if I'm just taking the moment of inertia about G, so this is going to be like movement like this, and this is going to be movement like this. So we can just write that is mg into r1 equals to mg into r2. So इधर था, that is 10 of g into r1 की value is 25 equals to m5 into g into r2 की value is just came to be a x centimeter. So g से g cancel and 5 से this is cancel 5 and x is values, that is 50 centimeter. So the value of x is came to be a 50 centimeter. Okay, let's solve the next one. Okay, so okay, so that's all the question. A 13-meter long ladder is placed on a smooth vertical wall with its end with its lower end 5 meter from the wall. What should be the coefficient of friction between the ladder and the floor so that the ladder remains in a equilibrium condition? So I am just going to draw the FBD of the ladder. Let us assume this is my floor and this is a ladder. First of all, just draw the reactions. There is a one normal reaction came at that point, that is N1, which is just perpendicular to the contact surface. There is another normal reaction which is just came to be at that point, that is N2. Okay, these are two, and another one is that there is a weight of the ladder which is always just came to be a vertically downward. After that, I am talking about the friction force. I am talking about the friction force. So if this ladder is moving towards the downward direction, moving towards that direction, so the friction force at that point is just came to be a like this, which is having the value of mu of N2. And similarly, when I'm just talking about this point, so here also the friction force, if this is just moving towards the downward, the friction force has came to be a upward that is having the value of mu n1. But the question is saying that a 13-meter long ladder is placed against a smooth vertical wall. It is saying that smooth vertical wall. So mu2 equals to क्या हो जाएगा मेरा? Sorry, this is if mu, this one mu and this is mu2, so this is mu2 equals to 0. So we are not need to take this one. So just equate the, this is having the value of 13 centimeter meter, 13 meter, and this is having the value of 5 meter. Okay, just take the sum of horizontal force equals to 0. Horizontal force equals to 0. So the horizontal force is first is this one, mu n2 equals to n1. So from here we can just write mu n2 equals to n1. Okay, we can also write the sum of vertical force equals to 0. So there are two vertical force, one is the n2 and another one is w. So we can, from here we can just write n2 equals to w. If this n2 equals to w, just put this one. So we can also write n1 equals to mu times of w. So both are came in the terms of, this is equation number 1 and this is equation number 2. Both are came in the terms of a w. So now just take as a point, this is point A, this is point B. And we have to need to find out the value of a coefficient of a friction. Coefficient of a friction. So we have to find the value of a coefficient of friction at a point this B. So we just take a movement about the point A. So just take the movement about A equals to 0. Okay. So this movement about A, first of all, there is a one force that is N2 due to N2. So N2 into perpendicular distance is this one, 5 meter into 5. And this is just going to be rotated in a clockwise direction. This is rotating clockwise. So we are taking a clockwise as a positive. Okay. After that, there is another force that is a W. W is just rotating a anti-clockwise direction. So we can write W into distance is, this is lie at the center. So this is a distance is 2.5. So W into 2.5. After that, there is a one another force which is just mu n2, which is just acting towards the anti-clockwise. So again, this is mu n2 into distance is that is this one. If this is 5, this is 13. So this is came to be a 12 meter by the Pythagoras theorem. So we could just multiply the 12 here and equals to 0. If you know the value of n2 is also equals to w, so whole things are came to in the terms of w into 5 equals to w into 2.5 plus mu into n2 की value कितनी है, w into again 12. So this w is cancelled to each other. So now this is 2.5 divided by 12 equals to mu. So the mu value is came to be 0.21. This is the answer. Okay. So the mu values came to be 0.21. So the option C is correct. Are you got it? The free body diagram of a ladder. Always remember, normal action is always perpendicular to the contact surface, and we are just introducing the friction force, which is just opposite to the motion. If this is just moving towards the downward, so the friction force has came to be a left hand side, and this is towards the upward side. If this is going to be upward, so the friction force changes its direction. Okay. Solve the next one. Solve this one. Okay, so now I'm just going to solve the question. Solve with me. Try to solve with me. Okay, a body of mass M is 10 kg initially stationary on a 45-degree inclined plane as shown in the figure. the coefficient of a dynamic friction between the body and the plane is 0.5. The value of mu is given here, that is 0.5. Okay, the body slides down in a plane and attains a velocity of 20 meter per second. Velocity is also given as a 20 meter per second. Okay, the distance traveled by the body along the plane is, so first of all just draw the same thing, always draw the free body diagram whenever these types of question are came into the, always draw first of all free body diagram. So the first thing is that the weight of the body just vertically downward, and this theta is also given as a 45 degree. Okay, and the normal reaction just came to be a perpendicular to the contact surface. After that, this is also having a same angle, and this is mg cos of 45 degree, because theta is given as a 45 degree. After there is again mg sine 45 degree at that place. If the body just came to be towards downward, if the motion is towards downward, so what will happen? The friction force are acting towards the upward, mu into n. So first of all, I'm just find out the acceleration of the body. So as I know by the Newton's law, second law of motion, the net force equals to the mass into acceleration. So the mass into acceleration equals to mg sine 45, mg sine 45 minus mu into n. So we can just write this one, m into a equals to mg sine 45 is 1 by root 2 minus mu की value is given as 0.5. Okay, into n की value is again mg cos of 45. Cos 45 is just came to be a 1 by root 2, and the m is also given, so there is no need to take the m. So m is just going to be cancelled. So the acceleration is came to be a 0.5 divided by root 2. The acceleration is that. Now just apply the Newton's laws of motion, but here the velocity is also given. So just take a equation v square equals to u square plus 2as. So here the u equals to 0, and you have to just find out the velocity distance, that is v square by 2a. So v की value is 20 का square divided by 0.5 multiplied by root 2. So this is just came to be a 57.76 meter. So the answer is D. Solve this one. Okay, just try to solve with me. What's the answer? Are you got anyone? B, B, B. Only one of them can just give the answer up to now. Venkatesh Gopi B. Okay. So the question is saying that a block of a 1 kg block is resting on a surface with the coefficient of friction equals to 0.1. Mu is given as a 0.1. After that, a force of 0.8 Newton is applied to the block as shown in the figure. If I'm just drawing the FBD diagram of that, this is a my block having 1 kg mass, है ना? 1 kg mass. So the mg just acting like this, है ना? So if the force which is having a magnitude of 0.8 Newton are applied here, so the friction force are acting at that surface, or this friction force is equals to the mu into n. Okay, so if I'm just going to find out the value of the mu into n, friction force की value कितनी आ जाएगी, that is came to be a mu की value it is 0.1 और n की value क्या है mg, n equals to क्या है मेरा mg. So the M is just 1 kg and G is 9.81. So the friction force came to be a 0.98. But you have to just see the one thing. If a block having just containing the friction force of 0.98 in the left hand direction and right hand side there is a force of 0.8 Newton, either it is come to be in a rest condition, so it is never be come to be in a rest condition, but a block is in a resting condition, so this friction should be the static friction and just equal to the this one. So the friction force are came to be a 0.8 Newton because the block is in rest condition. The block is in rest condition. Okay, so the answer is B. Let's solve the question. A question is saying that the moment of inertia of a rectangular section of base B and height h about its base will be. So this is a question saying that this is a rectangle having the base B and height h. Okay, if I'm just going to find out centroid, centroid that is B by 2 or h by 2, B by 2, h by 2. So it is given as a centroid that is about the I-axis, that is BH cube by 12. But it is just asking about the base. So let us assume this is a base A. Just apply the Pell-Axis theorem. What is the Pell-Axis theorem? That is a I of A equals to I of x plus A into h square. So I-axis कितना है? That is BH square by 12 plus A की वैल्यू क्या होगी? B into h और h की वैल्यू क्या होगी? H is just that is h by 2. This is the distance from the centroid or the distance between two axes, that is h by 2 ka whole square. So it just came to be a bh square by 12 plus bh cube by 12. So this is also bh cube by 4. So if you're just taking the 12 as a LCM, so this just came to be a bh cube. This is 1 plus 3. So that is came to be a bh cube by 3. So the answer is B. Okay. Just solve the next one. So the question is saying that a ratio of a moment of inertia of a rectangle and that of a triangle having the same base and height with respect to their bases. Basically, it is just asking about if there is a rectangle that is having the base B and height h, if there is a one triangle that is having the base B and height h, है ना? What is the moment of what is the ratio of a moment of inertia of a rectangle, that of a triangle with the same base and height with respect to their bases? It is just asking about the with respect to base. So in the previous question, I'm just finding out the moment of inertia of a rectangle about their bases, that is BHQ by 3. But what is the moment of inertia of a triangle about their base? So as I know about the moment of inertia about that axis is I axis is BHQ by 36. BHQ by 36. So the I of A या BB बेस के अबाउट कितना होगा? I of XX plus B A of H square. A of H square. So this is B H cube by 36 plus half base into height. ये क्या हो गया? एरिया. आफ्टर व्हाट इज द सेंट्रोइडल डिस्टेंस बिटवीन देम? H की ये वैल्यू कितनी हुई? दैट इज मुझे पता है ये क्या है मेरी 2H by 3 from the apex and this is H by 3 from the base. So it just came to be a H by 3 का square. So we can just write like this: I of B that is BH cube by 36 plus BH by 2 into H square by 9. So it is just take the LCM 36. This is a BH cube. This is a 1 plus, this is 18, so came to be a 2. So this is the moment of inertia about base. So the moment of inertia about base is that is BH cube divided by 12. Okay, this is about base. So what is the ratio of the moment of inertia of rectangle to the triangle about their base, that is BH cube by 3 divided by BH cube by 12. So this is just cancel to each other. The option is came to be a 4:1. So the answer is C. Okay, got it? Let's solve the next one. Solve this one. Pritha, Shubham, Arjun. No one get the answer up to now? Okay, the question is that find the center of the gravity of a L section shown in the figure. This is shown in the figure. Okay, so first of all, I am just going to find out the moment center of gravity. So we have to just decide the areas. So as I know about the formula of the CG, that is x bar equals to क्या होता है? A1 x1 upon A1 x1 upon A2 x2 x bar is equals to A1 x1 plus A2 x2 upon A1 plus A2. Similarly, y bar equals to क्या होता है? A1 y1 plus A2 y2 upon A1 plus A2. So first of all, we have to just decide the axis, from which axis we have to just take, and after that we have to just decide the areas. Okay, so let us take, I'm just taking this one axis. like this, and this one this. And I'm just taking the two section. This is the first and this is a second. Okay, so this one is a second and remaining is first. So if I'm just writing the area of the A1, this is the A1. Okay, so if I'm just writing the A1 equals to क्या आ जाएगा मेरा? That is this length into this, that is 10 into 2, so 20 centimeter square. If I am just talking about A2, so A2 is just came to a 8 into 2, that is 16 centimeter square. If I am just talking about the x1, so x1 is the distance from that axis. So this is came to be like this. तो यहाँ पर कहीं सेंट्रोइड लाई करेगा तो इसकी डिस्टेंस क्या हो गई 1 सेंटीमीटर. Okay, if I'm just talking about the y1, so y1 is taking the distance from here. So if this is a centroid, so this is distance is 5. Okay, by the this rectangle b by 2 or h by 2, but we have to just add this 2 also because we have just taking from the bottom. So from the bottom is that is equals to 2 plus 5, that is 7 centimeter. Okay, similarly I'm just talking about the x2. So the x2 is the, this is the 4 centimeter. X2 is the 4 centimeter. This is the 8 centimeter. So half of this is 4 centimeter. I am just talking about the y2. So the y2 is the distance from bottom axis. That is also a 1 centimeter. So just put the value of here and just get the answer. A1 is value is having 20 multiply by, but you have to just remember how to take the x1, x2 and y1, y2. If you're just not doing a mistake to take a x1, x2 and y1, y2, so you will not find a difficulty to do this. Okay. Plus a2 की वैल्यू कितनी है? a2 की वैल्यू 16 into x2 की वैल्यू कितनी है? 4. That is 20 plus 16. Similarly, when I am just talking about this is 20 into y1 is 7 plus this is 16 into 1 upon 20 plus 16. So if you just solve this one, you are just getting the that is 4.33 and 2.33. So the option is A. Okay. Let's solve this one. Which question not seen, beta? Abhimanyu, you are not able to see the question? Which question you are not seen? The screen is not visible to you, Abhimanyu. Not visible. Now it's okay. Okay. Now it's okay, na? Okay, good. Just solve the question. Okay. A car moving with a uniform acceleration covers a 450 meter in a first 5-second interval and covers 700 meter in the next 5-second interval. The acceleration of the car is. So this is just asking about. There is a one car which is starting from that point, and after the 5 seconds, it is just cover the 450 meter. 450 meter in 5 seconds, and after 5 seconds it is also cover In the next 5 seconds, it just also cover a 700 meter at t equals to 5 seconds. So I'm just applying the equation s equals to ut plus half at square, because it is just asking the acceleration and it is just giving a distance and the time. So we are just applying the this one equation. So what is the value of s in case 1 में? केस फर्स्ट में क्या होगी? s की वैल्यू इज 450 मीटर इक्वल्स टू u इंटू टाइम की वैल्यू 5 सेकेंड प्लस हाफ इंटू एक्सेलरेशन इंटू t की वैल्यू इज 5 का स्क्वायर. Okay, so it is just came to be a 450. Yeah, just multiply this one. That is multiplied 2, that is 900 equals to 10 u plus 25 a. This is equation number first. And now the case 2 is that we are just again apply the s equals to ut plus half at square. S equals to ut plus half at, but we don't know this in at that point the u value and also the acceleration value. Acceleration remains the same in the whole motion, but the u is going to be different because the distance covered by the body car is also different. So we are just taking from the total distance. The total distance is 450 plus 700, that is 1150 meter equals to u. Now we are just considering कि a body is moving from this point A point to the C point. Okay, s equals to ut, that is t equals to again 10 second plus half of acceleration into 10 का square. 10 का square. So it just came to be like this. We are just taking the equation number. This is equation number 2 and this is equation number 1. So 900 equals to 10 u plus 25 a. So just take the minus and minus. So 900 minus 1150, that is just came to be a 250, and this one is just going to be cancel each other, equals to, that is how much? 50a minus 25, that is came to be a 25a. So the acceleration is came to 10 meter per second square. Okay, so the option D are correct. Are you got it? 10 meter per second square. I'm just taking the from initial because we don't know this point velocity also. So we have to just, if I just considering for the whole motion, then we are just know the same velocity remains either in this motion and this motion. Okay. Let's solve this one. A question is saying that the time variation of a position of a particle in a rectilinear motion is given by x equals to 2t cube plus t cube plus 2t. Okay. This is a not 2t cube, this is a t square. It just came to be a, there is some mistake, that is a t square. Okay. So the x is given by x equals to 2 of t cube plus t square plus 2 of t. So it is just asking the velocity and acceleration of the particle in a constant units of the motion started with. Okay, motion started with, and it is just asking the v whenever the motion is going to be started. So it is just find out the value at t equals to 0. It is just find out the value of velocity and the acceleration at t equals to 0. So first of all, this is x, so the v equals to kya hota hai? That is dx by dt. So we just differentiate this one. That is 6t square plus 2 of t plus 2. This is the velocity. Now the acceleration is dv by dt, yeah, d2x upon d of t square. So it is just like this. We just differentiate this one again. So that is a 12 of t plus 2. Okay. So if I'm just going to the find out the velocity dv dx by dt at starting, any at t equals to 0. So what will happen? So the whole thing is going to be 0. Only the 2 will remain. Similarly, if I'm just going to find out the acceleration at t equals to 0, the dv by dt at t equals to 0. So it is also that this 12t is going to be 0 at t equals to 0. Now this one. So the acceleration and velocity both are going to be 2 and 2. So the answer is D. Okay, got it? Just solve this one. Okay, the question is saying that an elevator has a mass of 5,000 kg when the tension in the supporting cable is 60 kilonewton. The acceleration of the elevator is nearly. It is not saying that either the elevator is moving towards the upward or a downward. It is just saying that there is a one elevator. There is a one elevator which is having the mass of 5,000 kg, which is having the mass of 5,000 kg and having the tension is that is 60 kilonewton. Okay, and having the mass is 5,000 kg. So 5,000 is multiplied by 10, we just convert into the 50 kilonewton. We can say this. Okay, 5,000 multiplied by 10 is 50 kilonewton weight. So we have to decide where the acceleration of the body. So you have to just know about that is a DLMT law. How the DLMT law is applicable here. So you are just see the apparent weight. This is known as the apparent weight of the, in the case of the accelerator or the lift, and this is the actual weight. This is the actual weight, and the apparent weight is going to be increases from the this one. So it is only happen in the case of, there are two types of cases when lift is moving towards upward, upward की तरफ move करे, when it is just moving towards downward. So this is tension again mg. Okay, in downward. So in this case the lift is moving towards upward. In this case the lift is moving towards upward. So whenever I'm just introducing the inertia force, so inertia force is just going to be opposite to that is minus ma. So it is just came like this. This is a tension. So in this case tension equals to m of g plus ma. So you can just see m equals to g plus a. Okay, when I'm just talking about downward case, so what will happen if this is acceleration towards the downward, so the inertia force is going to be upward. So here the tension equals to क्या आ जाएगा mg minus ma. So here tension equals to क्या आ जाएगा m of g minus a. From both of the cases you can see here कि whenever the lift is moving towards the upward, your weight, your apparent weight is going to be increases. Whereas when I'm just talking about the downward case, in this downward case that apparent weight is going to be decreases, because here the tension equals to mg plus a. There is something addition. When I'm just talking about a downward case, there is something subtraction. So in the case of where you are just going to be in a lift is just moving towards upward, your weight is apparent weight is going to be increases, whereas the lift is moving towards downward, your actual weight is going to be decreases, and any apparent weight is going to be decreases. So whenever the tension is the cable is came to be greater than the mass of this is है ना, this actual mass, so the acceleration is towards the upward of the body, and the inertia force are acting like this. Inertia force are acting at the opposite to that. So from here we can just write T equals to m of A plus m of G. Okay, we have to just find out the value of a acceleration. Okay, so this tension in the cable is 60 kilonewton, that is 6,000. So 60,000 equals to this m is a 5,000 kg into acceleration plus this mg is came to be a 5,000 multiply by 10. G's value is taken as a 10. So you are just multiply divide by this one, just take minus. Okay, so this is just came to be a 50 minus this 10 equals to 5 of A. So the acceleration is came to be a 2 meter per. Acceleration came to be a 2 meter per second square. Okay, so the answer is D. Are you got it? The answer is D. Just solve this one. Question is saying that a stone of a mass 1 kg, a stone of a mass 1 kg is tied to a string of a length 1 meter and is whirled in a horizontal circle at a constant angular speed of a 5 radians per second. The tension in the string. If I'm just going to rotate a stone like this, what is the tension in the string? Okay, what is the tension in the string? So if it is just like that, a particle is this, which is moving like that. So in the tension in the string, so whatever the string has connected here, that is T equals to क्या आ जाएगा? Centrifugal force, that is m r omega square. So what is the value of m? That is 1, and radius, that is also the length of the string, that is equals to 1 meter. Omega is 5 radians per second का square. So that is tension in the string is came to be a 25 Newton. Okay, because here centrifugal force are acting like that on the member when we are just going to be rotate like this. Okay, solve the next one. A question is saying that wheel has a mass of 100 kg and radius of gyration equals to 0.2 meter. Mass is 100 kg, radius of gyration 0.2 meter. Amount of additional energy stored in the flywheel if its speed increases from 30 to 35 radians per second. So as I know about, flywheel is always in a rotational motion, so it is having the rotational energy, that is rotational energy is kinetic energy equals to half of I omega square. So increase in kinetic energy, that is del of k E equals to क्या आ जाएगा? हाफ ऑफ I ओमेगा 1 का स्क्वायर माइनस ओमेगा 2 का स्क्वायर माइनस ओमेगा 1 का हाफ ऑफ I omega 1 ka square. It is changing kinetic energy. If I am just taking the common half of I, so we can just write this one omega 1 minus 2 with omega 2 minus omega 1, or it is omega 1 2 minus plus omega 1. So we can just write half of I equals to क्या होता है m k square. It is value of I is m k square. I equals to क्या होता है m into k square. So the mass is 100 kg. Radius of gyration is given to be a 0.2 ka square. It is 35 minus 30, and this is 35 plus 30. Okay, so the it just came to be a half into 100, or 0.2 का multiply by 4 divided by 100 multiply by, that is 5 into, that is 65. So what's the answer? You can just see, इससे ये कट गया. We are just this to the 2, this 10, or this 655. So that this is came to be a 65 650 joule, not in kilojoule. So the answer is C. Okay. Just do this. A question is saying that a block of 650 gram, a block whose mass is 650 gram is fastened to a spring of a spring constant K equals to 65 Newton meter, whose other end is fixed. The block is pulled at a distance of 11 centimeter from the equilibrium position at x equals to 0 on a smooth surface and released from the rest at t equals to 0. The maximum speed as of the oscillating block is. So let us assume this is a block which is just tightened to a spring like this, having the mass is 650 gram, something mass is like this, and having spring constant k is less. If it is at equilibrium position at x equals to 0, this is the equilibrium position. Okay, if I'm just going to be pull like this, so this is going to be stretch like this, and this is having the value of 11 centimeter. Okay, so what is the maximum speed of the oscillation? So here you just also assume that energy remains constant. Whatever the energy we are just going to be push, so it is just stored in the this. So we can say that energy is constant. That is half of kx square. We'll just provide the speed to that. That is a half of m v square. You can just directly write that whatever the spring potential energy in the spring equals to the half mv square. So this half is just going to be cancelled. K equals to 65 Newton per meter. X is having the value of 11 centimeter, so it is just going came to be 0.11 ka square equals to mass of this is 650 grams, so that is 0.650 into velocity ka square. So if I am just going to solve this one, so it just came to be a velocity of 1.1 meter per second. Okay, so the answer is D. How many of them give the correct answer? Good. Let's solve the next one. Solve this one. A question is saying that two particles with the masses are in the ratio of 1:4, moving with the kinetic energy, moving with equal kinetic energies. The magnitude of their linear momentum will conform to the ratio of कितना हो जाएगा. सबसे पहले हम बात करते हैं the particles having the mass, that is m1 by m2 is given to be a 1:4. Okay, and they are having a same kinetic energy. ke1 equals to क्या हो जाएगा, ke2. So that is half of m1 v1 square equals to half of m2 v2 square. So this half is just cancelled to each other. Okay, so from here we can just write m1 v1, sorry, m1 upon m2 equals to v2 by v1 का square. Okay, so m1 by m2 is given to be a 1:4, that is v2 by v1 का square के बराबर. So v2 by v1 is came to be a 1/2. So from here we can just write v1 by v2 equals to क्या आ जाएगा, 2/1. Okay, so they are just asking the ratio of their linear movement, that is p1 by p2. So that is equals to m1 v1 upon m2 v2. We can write like this, m1 by m2 multiply by v1 by v2. So m1 by m2 is having the value of 1:4, multiply by v1 by v2 is value of 2:1. So we can just write p1 by p2 is came to be a 1:2. So the ratio is came to be a 1:2. So the answer is B. Just solve this one. A question is saying that a stone with a mass of 0.1 kg, a stone with a mass of 0.1 kg is captured as shown in the figure. The total force Fx exerted by the rubber band as a function of a distance x is given by Fx equals to the 300 x square. Is the stone displaced via 0.1 meter from the unstretched position at x equals to 0 of the rubber band, the energy stored in the rubber band. Okay, so the energy stored in the rubber band equals to the work done by the rubber band. So we can just write u equals to f dot dx और इसका integration. Okay, the energy stored in the rubber band equals to f dot dx. So the value of fx is 300 into x square into dx, or that is stretching from the 0 to 0.1, 0 to 0.1. So 300 x square का इंटीग्रेशन क्या हो जाएगा, that is x cube divided by 3 limit 0 to 1, 0 to 0.1. Okay, so it just came to be a 100 into 0.1 का cube, 0.1 का cube. So it just came to be a 0.1 joule. The energy stored in this is 0.1 joule. So the answer is B. Are you get it? Whatever the energy stored in this, that is whenever you just stretch the rubber band, so these are the energy stored in the form of a work done. That is U equals to integration of f dot dx. Okay. Just solve this one. So what's the answer? Someone is giving the A, someone is giving the B. Uh, Two of them A, and one of them is B. Okay. So the question is saying that if I spare of a solid, if I spare solid cylinder and a hollow cylinder, all of them have identical masses roll down the same inclined plane without sliding. Which one of the reach the bottom first? So basically, it is just lie at the some inclination, having a different shapes. So the potential energy, it has whenever these body are lying at their some position, they are having the some potential energy if they are lying at some height. Or these potential energy are converted into the rotational energy plus kinetic energy. These potential energy are converted into the rotational energy and the kinetic energy because they are just also rolling and there is some velocity also. The potential energy equals to the rotational energy plus kinetic energy. So this potential energy is mgh equals to what is rotational energy? Half I omega square plus half of mv square. Okay, if I'm just going to find out the velocity, so we know v equals to क्या होता है r omega. Okay, so the omega की velocity कितनी आ जाएगी? Omega equals to v by r. So from here we can just write mgh equals to half of I ओमेगा की जगह v स्क्वायर बाई r स्क्वायर plus half of mv square. So here I am just taking the common v square equals to क्या आ जाएगा? Half of I by r square plus half of m. Okay, here the m g h. So from here we can just write v equals to root के अंदर m g h upon half of I by r square plus half of m. That is the velocity. So if you just see this velocity expression, you will found all of having the same masses. So this does not depend upon the masses because masses are all of are the same masses and having the same this, so this radius are also constant. So now the velocity is inversely proportional to the 1 upon I. So which is having the maximum moment of inertia reaches the bottom least, and which is having the least moment of inertia reaches the bottom at the first. So I'm just talking about the moment of inertia. So the moment of inertia of a that is solid cylinder is mr square by 2, and it is a hollow cylinder. Hollow cylinder is having the mr square, and when just I'm talking about the sphere is having the 2 by 5 mr square. So from here you can just see this, the least moment of inertia is having the sphere having the least moment of inertia, so it will just reach the bottom first because velocity is directly proportional to the 1 upon I, which is having the least moment of inertia having the maximum velocity, which is having the maximum moment of inertia having the maximum least velocity. Okay, so the sphere having the least moment of inertia among all the sphere, solid and hollow cylinder. So the sphere will reach at the bottom first. So the answer is B. Let's do this. So the question is saying that a circular disc rolls down without slipping on an inclined plane. The ratio of the rotational energy to the total kinetic energy. So I am just talking about the ratio of the rotational energy. I am just finding out the rotational energy upon total energy. So rotational energy which is contain the half of I omega square, but total energy is contain the rotational energy plus kinetic energy. Okay, so we can just write here the value of I in the case of a disk, that is mr square by 2. So from here we can just write half of mr square divided by 2 into omega square upon rotation energy, again half of I के लिए लिख दे रहा हूं मैं mr square divided by 2 into omega square plus that is half of m v square. और v को ले सकता हूं मैं, that is v equals to r omega. So we can also write this v की जगह पे क्या लिख दूंगा मैं, r square और omega square. So you can just see this m r square omega square यहाँ से भी गया, यहाँ से भी, and from here also. So this is just came to be a 1 by 4 at the top numerator, and it is 1 by 4 plus 1 by 2. If I am just going to take the LCM, it is 1 by 4 divided by 4, and this one is 1 plus 2, that is 3. So the ratio came to be a 1:3. So the answer is C option. Okay. Someone give the C, B, D. Okay. Next. Just solve this one. Okay, I'm just going to solve the question. A block of 500 Newton, is to be moved upward for a distance of 1.6 meter on an inclined plane of 45 degree with horizontal. The work done will be, if mu is also given as a 0.25. Okay, so just draw the free body diagram again. this is having the mass, so the mg is just came to be a vertical downward. Normal reaction is came to be like this, and this is mg cos of 45 degree. Okay, and this is mg sine of 45 degree. Here it is just saying that the motion is vertically upward, moved upward. Okay, so motion is going to be like this, upward. So the friction force are came to be this, that is mu of n. Okay, so from here we can say that by the Newton's second law, net force equals to the sum of forces. So net force कितना हो जाएगा हमारा, ऊपर की तरफ जाएगा. So this F, here we have no need to find out the value of acceleration, so we just directly take F equals to क्या आ जाएगा मेरा, mg sin 45 degree plus mu into n. So that is came to be a mg the record is 500 Newton. 500 sin 45, that is 1 by root 2 plus mu is 0.25 और n की वैल्यू क्या है, mg cos 45. So it is again 500 multiply by 1 by root 2, because cos 45 is also 1 by root 2. So this f is just came to be a 500 root 2 multiply by 1.25. ये आ जाएगा 1 plus 0.25, it is 1.25. It is just asking the work done to move a object for a 1.6 meter. So we can just directly write that f w equals to f dot dx. So we can also w equals to f dot d या f into x. So यहाँ से कितना हो गया, 500 divided by root 2 multiply by 1.25 into this is 1.6 meter. 1.6. So just take the, this is 100, this is 10. इससे क्या 5 times, इससे क्या 4 times. Okay, so इससे ये क्या, that is again 4 times, and this इससे क्या ये 2 times और ये 2 से 2. So 500 divided by this. So the answer is came to be a 500 root 2. So the option is C is correct. Okay. Just solve the next one. So the question is saying that a thin circular ring of a mass m 100 kg and a radius of 2 meter resting on a smooth surface subjected to a sudden application of a tangential force of 300 Newton. This 300 Newton at a point on a periphery, the angular acceleration of the ring is, as I know, but this is just asking the angular acceleration. So the angular acceleration कितना हो जाएगा, F equals to क्या होता है मेरा ma और V equals to क्या होता है R into omega. If I'm just going to differentiate this one, this is A equals to R into alpha. So from here we can just write in the terms of m into R into alpha. So this F is value is came to be a 300 Newton. F is came to be a 100 kg. Or mass of the ring is a radius is 2 meter, and alpha this one. So this is just like this. So the alpha is came to be a 1.5 radians per second square. Okay, so the answer is B. So the answer is B. Good. That's all. So it is just asking the coefficient of restitution of an inelastic body. Inelastic body, how much? Someone is saying A, someone is also saying B. So you always remember this is called inelastic. Inelastic मतलब perfectly plastic. Inelastic matlab perfectly plastic. So the perfectly plastic body E equals to 0 for inelastic or perfectly plastic. Both are the same thing. और E equals to 1 आता है कब? When elastic body के लिए. याद रखना. This is for elastic body. It is clear to you? So the answer is A. Let's solve this one. Okay. किसी का आंसर आया? Okay. Only one of them give the answer. A question is saying that a mass m1 of 100 kg traveling with a uniform velocity of 5 meter per second along the line collides with the stationary mass of 1000 kg. After the collision, the both masses travel together. So it is just saying that this is a mass m1 having the 100 kg mass traveling with the velocity of 5 meter per second along a line collide with the stationary object having the mass m2, which is stationary object. So it is having the velocity 0 meter per second. After the collision, both masses travel together like this, having the velocity v. So as I know about, that is coefficient of restitution equals to velocity of separation upon velocity of approach. Okay, so that is v2 minus v1 upon u1 minus u2. That is known as a coefficient of restitution. So this is having the u1 velocity, this is having the u2 velocity, and this is the v1 and v2. So here you just see this, these are the v1 equals to v2 equals to v. So here, if I just put this one in the formula, so you are just getting the coefficient of restitution equals to 0. So the answer is again D. Solve this one. A question is saying that a gun of mass 3000 kg, gun is having the 3000 kg mass, fires horizontally a cell of a mass 50 kg, and bullet is having the mass of 50 kg with the velocity of 300 meter per second. What is the velocity with which the gun will recoil? So you just find out the velocity of recoil. So you just see this, initially the both bullet and the gun are in a rest condition. After the firing, there is some recoil velocity that's gained by the gun. So you have to just find out this recoil velocity. Okay, so we are just applying the momentum principle. Momentum principle. What is that? Initial momentum equals to final momentum. Okay, so initial momentum क्या होगा? Both gun and the bullet are in a cell, so that is equals to 0. Initial momentum, both are in a rest condition. After that, there is having the mass of the gun, which is having the velocity of the gun, which is the recoil velocity, plus there is a mass of the bullet, which is having the velocity of the bullet. So as I know, mass of the gun is 3000 kg. and we have to find out the velocity of gun plus mass of the bullet is 50 kg, and the velocity of gun is again 300 meter per second. So if I'm just going to find out the velocity of the gun equals to 50 into 300 divided by 3000. So what is this? This is 10 and having the 5. ये कब क्या आएगा? Minus आएगा यहाँ पर minus 5 meter per second. This is the velocity of gun, which is also known as the recoil velocity. So this is also negative sign is also showing that this velocity is the recoil velocity. Okay. So the option is A. Just solve this one. So the question is saying that a perfect truss is that which satisfies the equation that is m equals to 2j minus 3. Here m is denoted by the n. So whenever n equals to 2j minus 3, that is called a perfect truss. Perfect truss. When n is less than 2j minus 3, that is called an imperfect truss. When n is greater than 2j minus 3, that is called a redundant truss. So the answer is for perfect truss is n equals to 2j minus 3. So the option is D. Okay. Let's solve this one. So the question is saying that if a truss consists of 8 joint and 10 member and 4 reaction component, then it is equals to the as we know what that is m equals to 2j minus 3 लिखते हैं, where n is the number of reactions. So here we just write m equals to 2j minus 4 because you are just saying that a reaction component. So the m equals to 8 joint, m equals to 10 member, or joint equals to 2 into 8 minus 4. So that is just came to be a 10, or that is came to be a 12. 16 minus 4, that is 12. So it is just came to be this one is greater than this. So in this case, this is follow a deficient. This is follow a deficient or imperfect truss. So this is a deficient truss. Okay, so the answer is B. This is our last question. Take your time and try to solve the question. Okay, this is our last question. Okay, anyone got the answer? Anyone got the answer? No one? Okay. The question is like they determine the force in the member BG in the given truss. So here we have a two method to solve the truss. Either the method of the joint and another one is the method of the section. If I am just taking the method of the joint, so if I just take a method of, I'm also teach the what is the theory behind it, method of joint. So method of joint is saying that method of joint, basically you are just going to solve by the resolving of forces. If you want to just take the method of joint either at a point B or the point G, because you have to need to find out the member force in the member BG. If you're just taking the point B like this, so you're just taking there is a one force here, there is a one force here, there is a one force here, and there is a one force here. So by the method of joint, you can just find out maximum two number of unknowns. Why only two number of unknown? Because we have a equilibrium equation is sum of horizontal force equals to zero, sum of vertical force equals to zero, and a sum of moment equals to zero. है ना? But this is not applicable in the case of a method of joint. Method of joint. Why? Because all forces are collinear. So when the all forces are going to be collinear, this method of joints are not to be applicable here. So we have to just take out the method of section. So how the method of section? So the way to just do the method of section is, first of all, always cut like that, where you have to just find out the forces. So you have to just find out the forces along the BG member. So just find out, just cut like this. And just cut like this. So the in the case of method of section, you just cut anywhere from else except then the joint, है ना? So you can't pass through the joint. So just take us this and draw the FBD of the left hand section. So I'm just going to draw the FBD. So here there is a one point, that is F of GF. There is a one force lying here, it is F of CB. There is a 8 kilonewton force are acting here. There is another force at C that is acting here, that is 2 kilonewton. Okay, and except that there is a force along the BG member, B, F of BG. Okay, is there any other force that are acting on the member? There is no force except then there is a FCB, there is a F of GF, there is a F of FG, and 8 kilonewton and 2 kilonewton. This is a point D. Okay, and this is a point C, and this is having the 6 meter distance, and this is having the 3 meter distance. So first of all, just find out the theta, because you have to just find out the force FBG. How can you just find out the force FBG? So you have to just take the component. Take the component of this like this. So this is FBG. If this one is a theta, this is FBG cos theta, and this one is the FBG sin theta. Okay, there are two forces, FBG cos theta and FBG sin theta. So first of all, you have to just find out that this theta. So this theta is equals to this one. This is theta, and this is also theta. So if you just draw the triangle like this, this is 3 meter, this is 6 meter, and this is theta. So this is 3, this is 6. 3 or 6 कितना है? 6 is 36 or plus 9 45. So this just came to be a 45 का root, that is 3 root 5. So this thing is came to be 3 root 5. Okay, so the sin theta value equals to, that is 3 by 3 root 5. So that is 1 by root 5. If I just find out the value of cos theta, so that is 6 by 3 root 5, that is equals to the 2 by root 5. Okay, so now you have just all things up. You have to just take the point where you can just take the movement. If I am just take the movement about that point, so what will happen? We have the one unknown which is at the reaction. So we have to first find out the reaction. Okay, so don't take this point. If you just take the point at G, take the moment about point G, so what will happen? FBG is going to be 0. So there is no use to take the moment about the G. So now just take the moment about the point D. So take the moment about the D point equals to 0. Okay, if you're just taking the clockwise as a positive, anti-clockwise as a positive, so just take as a clockwise as a negative. So first of all, there is a one force that is called a 2 kilonewton. 2 kilonewton is just going to be rotate in anti-clockwise. So I'm just taking anti-clockwise as a positive. So I'm just taking the convention, anti-clockwise is positive और clockwise is negative. So 2 kilonewton force हो गया, into distance कितनी हो गई? The distance between D and 2 is 6 meter. Okay. After that, there is a one force 8 kilonewton, that is 8, and the distance between 8 and D is also 6 meter. So it is again 6, and having the nature also anti-clockwise, so it is again positive. After that, there is a force FCV, but it is having the same line of action, so there is a no movement came due to the FCV. After that, there is a force of FGF. FGF also having the same line of action about the D point, so there is a no force movement come due to the FGV. So after that, there is a only two forces are remains, which is a component of a FBG, that is the FBG cos theta and FBG sin theta. So now I am just taking the F of BG cos theta into the distance between the this G and D. So G and D having the distance of 3 meter, or it is having the same nature as anti-clockwise. So it is also again positive. And after that, there is a one force FBG sin theta. FBG sin theta into distance between them is again 6. So plus F of BG sin theta into distance is 6 equals to 0. Okay, 2 into 6 is 12. 12 plus 48, that is came to be a 60, plus FBG cos theta, or cos theta is having the value 2 by root 5. So FBG into 2 by root 5 multiply by 3 plus FBG sin theta, that again FBG sin theta is having the value of 1 by root 5 multiply by 6 equals to 0. So from here we can just write this is also 6 root 5, or this is also 6 root 5. So 2 into FBG 6 divided by root 5 equals to minus of 60. So here the FBG just came to be a, that is negative of 11.18 kilonewton. Okay, so this negative is representing the compression. So this is the answer number C. I hope you all are enjoying the questions. These are the good questions, which is basically depending on come to your examination. Maybe a possibility they can be come. So don't take the trust questions are never to be came into the examination, because this is also not a too large question. This is also depending upon you can just solve within a max to max 1.5 minutes. Okay. So thank you so much for coming your precious time, and just thank you so much for the question solving. And we will introduce some other subjects also. Okay. Thank you so much, and have a nice day. Good night.